everybody. Today is Thursday and it is day 96, right? Yeah, day 96 of the 100-day challenge. And today, as you can see, I'm going to work on my tag for hashtag 52 tags handmade. I will attach Anne's video in the comment section of my video so you can see what she did and what her instructions, or you know what I mean. She's pretty willing to let us do our own thing, but what she did was she had paper hexagons and then she took fabric over them, stitched the fabric around, and then removed the paper. She did say that we could make our hexagons this way that I'm going to show you. This was the smallest I was willing to go, and the bad thing is my tags are smaller. They're only 2 by 4 from top to bottom, so I have about 2 by 3.5 inches to work on my tags. After I started this project, I wish that I had made my tags much larger and thought about making larger tags, but I already have these. And I'm like, I really don't want to change the size of my tags at this point. If we're lucky enough that she does this again next year, I will definitely make larger tags. Because there's some things that become quite cumbersome on the smaller tag. Some things a smaller tag has proven to be to my advantage. But anyway, I'm going to deal with what I have. So I wanted to show you how I made these. When we made this tag here, I'm making my hexagons the same way, but they're going to be turned over this way. But I'll show you a couple. I just picked, what did I use? I think I used a glue bottle. The bottom of a glue bottle, I think it was. Yeah. And traced around it to make my circle. And then once we fold everything up, it becomes this small. So what you do is you decide on the size you want your hexagon to be. Cut out a circle. Iron it in half this way and iron it in half this way. That'll give you some guidelines for where you need to make your folds. So I've already done these. I'm going to show you how I did that. And let's see. This fabric here, yeah. This is the inside of my fabric, and since I'm turning it over this way, I want it that way. So you fold this edge to the center, just to the edge of the center. Crease it with your fingers best you can. It's sort of hard for me on this quilt. And where this little point is, you bring that point up to the center mark. Crease that. That'll make another little point here. Fold that corner up to the center. Crease with your finger. You have another little point. Bring that point up to the center. Crease with your finger. Bring this point up to the center. My hands don't want to work, so. And then you end up with one little point over here. Fold that point into the center. Struggling here. Crease that a little bit more. Bring that into the center. Mine aren't perfect. There we go. And that's how you get your hexagon. And then I've just been taking a pen. Some of this fabric, well, it might be my pens too. Some of these might have been stuck in glue bottles or whatever. Oops. I've just been sticking a pin in to hold it in place until I stitch the back. And I'll do this one more time. So and it really helps if you take the time to do the ironing. You know, do yourself a favor. Iron it in half and in half again. Because that gives you your lines that you need. Bring this up just on the edge of the center. Crease with your fingers. Take this point, bring it up to the center again. Crease as good as you can with your finger to make that point. Bring it up to the center again. And this fabric, I can tell, is, I'm not sure what type of fabric this is, but it's a softer fabric. So it's a little bit more difficult to hold in place. Once again, where you have your little point, bring it up to the center. Crease. Bring that point up to the center. That should leave you a point, or somewhat of a point. Bring that up to the center. And then that gives you your, well, this looks sort of like a funky. This one's a little bit funky. That's okay. I'll make it work. And then I'm just putting a pin in to hold that in place until I stitch those centers together. I forgot to set my timer, so I'm going to do that right now. There we go. Just because my camera quits filming at a certain point. So all I've been doing for these is I've just been stitching them together enough, not going all the way through because I don't want the stitch to be on the other side, of course, and just putting a few stitches in here to hold all this together. And I'm sure I've made more hexagons than what I need because of the size of my tag. But I thought that would be alright because I didn't really know what I want to do. I think I'm going to keep it relatively simple, nothing elaborate. But I didn't know how many I would need, and I didn't know what would go together. That type of thing. And I'm sure I can use these on other projects, so they won't be wasted. Oh, and my thread just came out, of course. I'm sorry if you can hear the noise in the background. My husband he just mowed the lawn, and now he's weed whacking and blowing and making all kinds of commotion out there. And you know what? I just realized I forgot to turn my microphone on. I am so sorry. So I don't know if you'll be able to hear what I've been talking about. as you can see, I'm doing hashtag 52 tags handmade, and making my hexagons the way that we made these back here. And as I've said already, but just in case you couldn't hear, Anne took a piece of paper with the size hexagon she wanted, and then wrapped her fabric around that piece of paper, stitched the hexagon together, pulled the paper out. She did say that we could make our hexagons this way, and I had made a determination that as small as my tag is, I wasn't making much smaller than this on hexagons, because it would be a nightmare for me. This was as small as I was going. I'm sorry for the microphone. I hope you at least saw how I made these, in case you didn't know. It's very easy, and the one point I wanted to make was it's very much worth the time to make those first two creases. When you fold it in half, press it, and fold it in half the other way and press it. That gives you your guidelines of where your folds need to be, where you need to fold to, rather, when you're folding up the edges. I was just apologizing because my husband's mowing, and that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I don't remember turning my microphone on. So I apologize. I'm just not myself the last few days. I am feeling a little bit better. Not 100%, but just trying to get over this whole Dino episode. Get rid of that. Okay. So, as Anne did, she used a piece of quilt as her base, and then arranged the hexagons in whatever order that you want to, and then you're supposed to stitch right over everything so that these become part of the quilt piece. Now, I have a bunch of quilt pieces. I can just show you. And I had already picked out these colors. I was sort of going with something in a red, burgundy-ish, reddish color, you know. And so I've already sifted through this stack and come down to these three that I think I would prefer. I really like just the basic beige. I really wanted to use this, but with some of these colors, it just doesn't go. And I feel like the white is too stark. I don't know. So my base is going to be between either the white. I'll keep both of those out because I'm not sure. Decisions, right? I don't know, I sort of like the white now. So I want the white. And I don't want to cut it to my tag size until I make that determination. I don't know which of these I'm going to be using. These are some of the threads that I pulled out, thinking that like this has some green in it. I'd like to use a couple different colors, and I was thinking, I don't know what color this is, but it's sort of a dusty rose or something, but I sort of like it better than the reds, because most of these have more of a burgundy-ish tint to them. I think this might be too dark. So I'm sort of leaning towards that. And one of, I think that would be too green. Maybe that green. Maybe these two colors. I laid this out too, in case I just want to go totally neutral. Ooh, and I'm sorry, I need to turn my fan on real quick. Okay. And I'm going to crack my window, if you don't mind. I have been running fever the last few days, and it's all related to my dental issue. And every once in a while I just break out in a sweat. Ooh. Okay. So, with all that being said, I know that's too much information, but nonetheless, it is what it is, right? So I think I am going to go with the white. Now that I look at it, am I or aren't I? Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to go with the white. And try to cut this to the best of my ability. Alright, so that's going to be my tag base. It's not very straight, but mine never are. Alright, so that's what I'm working on. That decision has been made. Now I just need to decide how many of these and which ones I want to use. You could press these again. I don't think I'm going to, just because I think once they're stitched down, I'm not going to get into all that. But I sort of want to focus on these. And I might add this color in there the more I look at it. I might not use that. I really like this print. I guess the question is, do I want to... Nope. These, do I want this? Nope. I think that's too much. Well, maybe not. Sort of like that, actually. And I know this is nothing special. You know, nothing original here going on. Let me just see if I... Oh, that must be a squirrel. I could hear this noise. I was like, what is that noise? Squirrel out there. I don't really... Well, you know, I don't really mind that. I know it's very unoriginal. hold that up further, and separate it. I think I sort of liked it together. I think I'm just going to go with that. I just want to figure out what one I want where. I'm going to use this one. I just sort of want to look at my colors, and I'm only going to use, I think, one strand. I don't know, maybe I sort of need to, I like that. Well, I think I'm going to go with those, and I'm just going to try to find some of my small pens. I have my pens all mixed together here, and this seems to be my larger pens. My other pens must be in my box. So I will just, well, I would just lay these aside, and if I start with that one, and I think what I'm going to do first is just sort of, where'd my needle and thread go? I'm going to use just this plain white thread to stitch these down. And then I think I'm just going to do a running stitch. The whole idea behind this is to make it look like the hexagons become part of the quilt. Basically quilting. Oh, and it doesn't really matter if I come up through the back either, because I'm going to glue this down. So I'm just going to go around with a few stitches, because this is all going to be stitched over. I'm just going to put a couple stitches on each side of this to hold it in place. I'll stitch this one on. You saw the pattern I'm going to use. I think I'll stick with it. I'm not trying to, be honest with you, I don't feel real creative right now. I just don't feel good. So, I love hand stitching though. It's very relaxing. Isn't that funny? I didn't think I would use that stark white, but I like it. This one was going to go next to it. So I'm going to continue on and sew my little things on here, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I stitched all that down and then I realized, you know what I was supposed to do? Stitch these together, not onto the fabric like that. You know, so you know how people make quilt pieces? They stitch them all together and then they apply them to the back. But I had already got 2 of them down and then I'm like, what am I doing? My brain's just not functioning. That's what the problem is. So I think what I determined is I doubled my green thread, and I have this, I don't know what color you would call it, sort of a dusty rose or something, I don't know. I'm going to keep it single. I'm just going to do some running stitches in some sort of pattern, I guess, with just the 2 colors. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I think it'll be fine in the end, but I'm just going to go for it. So I am just going to come up here and just start. And I don't know why I did that. I could have started on the other side. Doesn't matter. I think I want my green stitches to be a little bit smaller, and maybe I don't know. I was thinking maybe make those a little bit smaller, and the pinkish, reddish, whatever color we want to call that, maybe a little bit bigger. I don't know. Just to sort of change it up. And I'll tell you, I don't know if it's my needles or my fabric, but some of these are a little bit difficult to get through. Ouch! I figured I'd do them in increments of like 3, you know, a green, that mauvey pinky color, and then a green line. So nothing fabulous going on. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not a very straight stitcher either. I guess if you wanted to be perfect, you could draw your lines on, but I'm okay with it not being perfect. So I think instead of, I'll establish what pattern I'm going to use, and then instead of like fast forwarding my video, because this is going to take me a while, I will finish it up and then come back and show you the end result, because this is going to be very repetitive. Or no, I guess some people don't like it when you speed up the videos. And if I didn't speed this up, this would be like a 3-hour video for me, because I am very slow. And I don't think you want to watch a 3-hour video. Getting a little bit off track here, but that's okay. It just lets me know that my hexagons weren't on there perfectly straight. And I guess if you stitch these together separately, you could better place it on your fabric as well. I thought about that when I was stitching these on after I realized what I had done. But I thought, you know, at this point I wasn't gonna take it off and start over. So I'm gonna keep that there. And then I'm gonna come back with this red. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I sort of feel like I might make those stitches larger, since I'm only using one strand. Just, I can hear my husband has, of course, sports on in the other room. I just heard, I believe today is Willie Mays' 90th birthday. And I think even if you don't watch sports, I'm sure everybody's heard Willie Mays' name. So happy birthday to Willie Mays. I don't know how this is going to look. Oh, this fabric right here is a little bit difficult. I don't know why I really like these two colors together. Even not just because of this, but I tend to go to these colors quite a bit together. Different things I do. I don't know how this is going to look. We're going to find out, aren't we? I'm going to keep that needle there. Just jump over here. I'm not going to end my thread. I'm quite lazy. So all you professional stitchers out there, don't be throwing me any shade. I should have put one of my great-grandmother's quilts out here on the table today to honor her. Her little stitches on her quilts are so perfect and so small and so straight. So Grandma Leela, I apologize. I can tell my green line is sort of jumping out, not going so straight. I think traditional quilts, the quilting process is normally done with white thread, at least any that I've seen. But this isn't a traditional quilt. Okay, now this one I am going to end off. Just because I'm thinking I'm going to jump over a little bit. I think I might do, is that going to be too close to that? Well, let's see. I'm going to try to make this bigger. I wanted to do that before and didn't. I sort of want this to be like a separate row, if you will. And then I'll repeat the pattern. That color actually blends right into that fabric. Oh. My dog's getting a little bit feisty. She has her toy, if you can hear that noise in the background. She's shaking it all around. She found the squeaker. I don't know. We shall see. I'm going to go ahead and end this off. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to do, now I'll do green, red, or green, pink, I'm going to color it, or call it. I'm going to repeat this pattern, and that again, and keep going. So I'll continue on that, and then come back and show you the end result, which, I don't know. I'm not digging right now, but I'm sure it'll be fine when it's all said and done. Okay, see you in a little bit. Okay, so I am back. As you can see, I am not satisfied with what I did. I wish I would have just used like an ecru and just done that, but I'm not going to change it. I just don't have the energy to do that. But the one thing that I did change over here, I did the green, call it rose, and then green, and then I ended up doing 2 rows of the rose. And then I went back to the green, rose, green, 2 of the rose color, and then started my process again. Don't love it, but don't hate it, you know. So that is going to be my tag. I'm going to, well, I think I'll just use my Fabric Fix here and call it a tag. I might end up making another one of these, but this is my tag for now. I don't mind the pattern so much, I just don't like the stitching on top of it. Just not happy with that. But it is done, right? It is a tag. I don't like where my nuts are coming up there. I love the fabrics that I used. I do love those. So, let me see. I don't even remember. I think we're on, yeah, that's week 18. So you can see my ring is getting full. I had to make more tags today. I ran out of tags, but I love going through these and looking at these. My husband often asks me, what do you do with those at the end of this? I'm like, just look at them. He doesn't understand that. But I told him, you don't have to understand. It's a lady thing. So there's my tag for this week. I hope that your tags turn out the way that you want them to. As I mentioned, I will attach Anne's video in the comments of this video. And I just want to thank everybody for your support. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as I mentioned before, today is day 96 of the 100-day challenge. Monday will be day 100. And on day 100, I will make an announcement on what you need to do to enter for my subby giveaway. So the countdown is on. So I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will be back tomorrow with something. And happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.